Okay, good morning, everyone. This is episode 3 of Will I Find UX Content? And today, let me turn off this thumbnail. Alright, today we are going to see if we can find any new content for everyone who is new to this live streaming. Uh, this is something that I try to do every day to find content for my UX videos weekly. And if you are wondering, are there any UX videos that I've made already? No, I made to make my first UX video, but I thought this is a good way to start making this a habit to try and spend some time to every day to find the content. And the expectation for these live streaming is it's going to be mainly for me to find content, and while I find content, I also try and explain the concepts that I come across. And mostly these concepts are things that are in the books that I have read, right? Maybe very rarely in the future we will find articles that are on the internet as well. But yeah, and also I try and improve this presentation model every day, and go through my recording, see what I am doing right, what I am not doing right, and so on. Yesterday I noticed I have a very serious face the entire time. I'm like this, right, which I want to avoid and try to keep a more pleasant, smiling face, I guess. I don't even know if that is the recommended thing to do on videos. I have to take a look at that. But anyway, and again, I tend to blabber a lot, so don't expect anything that is very crisp or very useful. Maybe you'll find a small part of this live streaming useful, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It is. I'm still trying to figure out what this is all about, right apart from finding the content itself. So, in the last two episodes, we talked about users, content, and context, which is kind of like a framework that you can use, to what do you call approach any of your solutions, right? Now, in this episode, we are trying. I highly encourage you guys to check out the last episode. The first episode, there were some problems with the mic. I was using the laptop's mic, so the audio is not very good. You can check episode 2. This is episode 3. Um, Episode 2 has better mic quality. I wouldn't say it's the ideal quality, but I think I can do it. I can do with it for now. Right. Now in episode 3, we are going to try and find new content. And of course, we are using again the information architecture book to see what is the content that we can talk about. And I was thinking maybe I'll be able to find something in information seeking behavior. Right. And again, this is one of the books that I will frequently refer to in all of those videos. And if you want me to share what are the other books that we will be using in this channel, the other books are Interaction Design Beyond Human Computer Interaction. This is something that I am currently reading. I'm halfway through the book, and this is a huge book at that. This has around 630, 640 pages. And of course, I've read this book multiple times, and I'm sure if you are a designer, most of you uh, would have come across this one, The Design of Everyday Things. All right, and maybe in the future we'll talk about, especially when we talk about politics, how to deal with um, politics in design, because that plays a very, very, very key role, because it is very underrated and not talked about, especially with beginners, and that can lead to designers being demotivated a lot, right? Because um, yeah, maybe for a separate episode, I am of the opinion everyone can design, but that doesn't mean everyone should design, because I mean, this is kind of mean to say, but people think designing a screen is because it is very visual, right? Everyone thinks that they can design, and people are usually very close to their ideas, and they feel they can. they can just do it. Right? They can do the same. They can do this. What do you call it? I'm just trying to find the right word. They can make designs as good as any seasoned designers would do. And the moment you try to criticize their ideas or question their ideas, they tend to feel offended. And especially if this is someone who is at a designer level or at a leadership level, then they try to make your life hell, and uh, they do the exact same thing that you do, and they have no I don't know. Remorse or regret when they question your ideas, right? But they take it very seriously. When you question their ideas, I know these are all controversial things. How do you navigate those things, right? How do you explain um, why a certain idea, right? Not your idea versus their idea. A certain idea, it could be from them, it could be from you, is good, and why a certain idea is not a good thing. Right, and sometimes you just have to put your foot forward even after explaining that it's simply not the right approach to go ahead and see uh, how that goes, and how the company's culture is towards design, and so on. But yeah, it's a very serious topic. Maybe something to think about in the future. I'm just checking in my live streaming to see if it is good. And yeah, if anyone's watching, let me know if you're able to uh, hear the audio. I'm not sure if I can, if there is any audio. But yeah, let me quickly check that anyway. Okay, I just checked that. There is audio. All right, cool. So now let's get back to the topic. Uh, Sorry, I just woke up. Um, cool. So now information seeking behaviors. Now there are mainly three different types. I guess I don't know what that is called. Let's quickly see information needs, right? So we'll probably talk about that in a separate video, and I have already done a webinar at Medley. I'll put that link in the description, so you can refer to that later on. There are basically three types of information needs. One is you know what you want and you know where it exists in the product or in the system, and it's a pretty straightforward search. Right, or it's a pretty straightforward way to find the information. The second is you want maybe a few good links about the topic that you are looking for. Let's say you are looking for what's going on in IPL, right? Or maybe what is going on in India versus South Africa tournament that is going on right now. What is the news? What is the standing? What happened with the T20 series? Did the Test series already happen, or it is about to happen, and so on? Maybe you will find it in a few links, right? So that is the second type of information need, which is, as you can see here, is exploratory seeking. The third one is exhaustive research, right? Let's say you're doing some research on something, maybe how to make rockets, right? Or maybe you're doing some research on astronomy, right? I mean, I'm very fond of astronomy, and that's why all of the topics are around that, right? And let's say you are doing a doctorate, right, in either astronomy or maybe on a specific planet, and you want to know everything there is to know about that particular planet, let's say Mars or Saturn, any other planet. I was going to say Pluto, but then again, we no longer call Pluto as a planet. So yeah, when you want to know everything there is to know about a particular topic, that's called exhaustive research. And we talk about it in much more detail in that webinar video. I'll put a link to that. I don't want to cover that as part of this live session, right? And I also, if my hand gestures are weird, just let me know in the comment section, because I feel like I'm a little more flexible, or in terms of my body language and my posture when I use my hands to explain things, and I also feel a little more relaxed, rather than talking like this with very rigid shoulders and arms. I don't know if you can see me. Let me do this. Hopefully, it's not weird. So yeah, if I am like this, I'm looking at the live streaming. Uh, yeah, if I am like this with my shoulders really rigid and not moving, I feel kind of not very free flowing, and so on. So that's why I try and use my hand gestures a lot to make myself give myself that space to think about things, and so on. But still, these things tend to uh, not give me that freedom. But anyway, I tend to digress. Now, information seeking behavior, right, is the next thing that I thought maybe is a good area um, to see if we can find some content. So, a couple of topics that they talk about in this section is integration and iteration. Integration is there are a few basic building blocks of any information search. One is link-to-link navigation, search systems, and asking someone, right? So if you break down any information finding session into its very foundation blocks, right? Very foundational blocks. Then you will only find these three things, right? You cannot break them down into further any other types. Now, with the advent of voice assistants, maybe this can be a little more generic. Let me see if I can increase the point size so all of you can, and I'll just put it as a single column. Okay. Right, so the thing that I was talking about is, let's see. Okay, so now this, yeah, asking humans for help. Now, this can be maybe ask for help, right, or ask for help or voice assistance, which is, uh, a more new way of finding information. And of course, there are the few other novel ways. One of the reason ways that I can think of is using your camera, right, to read text or maybe copy text, or just click a photo and then start annotating it. I don't know if that falls in information seeking behavior. Maybe scanning a QR code with a camera, but again, that will probably fall in link to link, because a QR code is essentially a link. Right. So yeah, that is we were talking about integrating all of these foundational pieces in information finding session, right? That's what they talk about as well, integration and iteration, right? So integration, as I said, is how users use a combination of link to link um, search and asking someone or something for information, right? And any other novel ways that are there today, right? So yeah, that is integration, and iteration is how users. Um, so many times, what happens is, the next time you are trying to find something on any product, it could be, again, I'll keep referring to Spotify on this channel, because Spotify is, I don't know, every time I try to find something on Spotify, I can find it. There are very, very few times when I'm not able to find something, right? And similarly, I use Swiggy, Zomato. Most of the time, I find there is one challenge though that I face with Swiggy and Zomato, which is decision paralysis. because there are so many choices, there are so many restaurants and so many dishes in each restaurant to pick, and that's where iteration comes, right? I try to find maybe a dish, and then I look at some of the dishes. Maybe I am looking for I don't know, a mushroom dish, and maybe I'm looking to find uh, something else, right? And I come across and I try to search for a mushroom dish, and or a paneer dish for that matter, or a potato dish. Now I see a list of dishes, and maybe none of them are uh, appealing to me. Right, or maybe two or three of them are appealing to me, and I'm not able to make a decision. Right, and if in the first scenario when I don't like any of the dishes, maybe so that's my first attempt of finding a dish. Now I go to a different restaurant to try and find another restaurant. Maybe trying finding that restaurant itself is a task. Right, I try to find a familiar restaurant where I have ordered from before, but then I know that that restaurant does not make. Maybe I had um, a dish, a mushroom dish from there. I think I have to put a counter for how many times I say mushroom in this live stream. So yeah, basically how many times I attempt to find an information, and whether I am finding it on the third attempt or fourth attempt becomes my third iteration or fourth iteration of finding it. At least that's what I think they mean by iteration. But let's see. They talk about integrating here, and do they also talk about iteration? Let's see. Okay. Integrate. They are still talking about integration. Um, yeah, I think they're still talking. They also talk about berry picking model, which we will talk about in a moment. Okay. So these are all integration. Okay. So they're still talking about integration, I think. Okay. So let me see if they talk about iteration anywhere else to see what is their definition. Okay. Iteration. Okay. Yeah. So that's what they're talking about, picking bits of information. And again, today I was looking to buy some vegetables, and I knew I wanted to buy a vegetable, and I was looking at Swiggy's Instamart, and but I was not sure which vegetable. Right, and I was going through the let me open the app itself and see if I can show you guys what I am talking about. Just give me a minute. Okay. I'm just trying to take a screenshot and so that I can show you guys what I am talking about. So I go to Instamart and okay, this is the page, and then okay, I'm just taking a few screenshots. Please bear with me. Um, okay, okay, yeah. Disregard. Yes, yeah. So let me transfer these screenshots to the laptop. Okay, Okay. All right. So now what we are going to do is let me put them. Yeah. So this is Instamart's home screen, right? And I wasn't sure what vegetable to buy, and I was just scrolling through this section to see if I come across anything that uh, I want to buy, and I did not notice this is frequently bought items, right? And I came across everything that I bought yesterday. Usually, my wife orders vegetables from Instamart because she has the Swiggy One membership and delivery is free for her. So I very rarely order here, so it had only maybe two order history, and it was showing everything that only the things that I ordered yesterday, and I did not want to order what I ordered yesterday. All right, so that's my first attempt at finding what I wanted to find. So that becomes the first iteration. Okay, so now I know what I am looking for does not exist here. Now I scroll down and I see this fruits and vegetables category. Right, I saw the category, maybe okay. Then I'll find some inspiration when I go to this category, and then I opened this category, which shows this. And interestingly, so if I go back, right, it says fruits and vegetables. Um, and I did not expect to see these subcategories under that. And I was pleasantly surprised, even though I did not go to any of them, and I only looked at vegetables because I was only thinking about vegetables. And later on, I noticed after I placed the order, there are also leafy greens and seasonings. Maybe I'll use this the next time. All right. So and then I scrolled down all of this and I saw tomato. I knew I ran out of tomato. So and also the tomatoes that they delivered yesterday was were not ripe. So I ordered a few more again so that maybe the tomato I bought yesterday will become ripe today or tomorrow, and I can use it. And by the time, if again they deliver tomatoes that are not ripe today, I can use them tomorrow or day after. Right, so I added tomato, and then I kept scrolling, and then I came across carrot, and I knew I did not have carrot, and I was looking for carrot, so I ordered carrot, and then I scrolled down, right, and now this has become this bitter gourd. I saw bitter gourd also, and I also saw potatoes, as you can see. Okay, it's not here. I saw potatoes and lady's finger also and cabbage. I was not sure whether I want to buy them. All right. So I'm just explaining my thought process or what was going on in my head when I was looking at this list. And this is very similar to any user, right, who's trying to find anything that they are trying to find. They come across what they want CR, this becomes more of your second type of information seeking, which is exploratory seeking, right? I don't know, or I know very broadly what I want, but I don't know exactly what I want, and I also don't know where exactly to find, right? So this becomes more of exploratory seeking. So yeah, and then I saw bitter gourd. It's been a long time since I had bitter gourd, and I also know it is healthy. I'm trying to eat more healthy items. So yeah, I added bitter gourd. Now it says when I took the screenshot, it says it's out of stock. So I added bitter gourd also, and I placed the order. Right, this is a very good example of how iteratively users find information. It's not always the first time when somebody tries to find some information, they are able to find it. But again, depending on the type of information that they are trying to find. They may give up after the first attempt, or they may not give up after the first attempt. Right? That is one aspect of how users find information iteratively. Now, the second aspect is I knew on a very broad level what I wanted to buy, which is vegetables, but I did not know what vegetables I wanted to find. Now that becomes individual pieces of information, right? I'm basically breaking down my category into specific items, right? So that also becomes, and that becomes the other aspect of finding information iteratively. Now, again, going back to the same example, as soon as I saw a tomato, I knew I needed tomato, so I picked that, and then I looked at tomato green and I was disgusted because I don't know, I'd never cooked anything with green tomatoes. Right, and I looked at cucumber. I already have cucumbers. In fact, that reminds me, yesterday I wanted to put cucumber in my salad, but I did not. Maybe I'll have it today. And then I looked at carrot. All right. So basically, I'm breaking down my information seeking into smaller steps and trying to satisfy my ultimate goal of finding vegetables to cook today, right, for lunch and maybe for dinner also. So yeah, that's about iteration and integration. Maybe this is a good topic to talk about, and they give you more examples in Amazon. Sorry, in the book on information architecture and berry picking. I don't know if I want to talk about berry picking or not, and this is. I think there is also something called pearl growing, which I think is what this image represents. I'm not sure. Um, so yeah. Uh, so how does this help? Right, again, that's always something that I look for to talk about in my videos, because we can talk about all of this theory, but if I don't know, or if you don't know how to use this, how to apply this on your product, then it doesn't work. Right. I also try to find some uh, tangible ways you can apply these theory and come up with some tangible outputs, right? Or at least some way to approach uh, problem solving for your product, right? Or coming up with solutions for the problems that your customers may be facing or the goals that they are trying to achieve. Right. Let's think about a few more examples of integration and iteration. Let's say if there is anything in the case of Uber or any cab booking application for that matter. So what is my goal? Right. I want to go from point A to point B, and maybe I have some time constraints. Maybe I want to reach the place in less than an hour, or maybe even in less than 15-20 minutes. Maybe I am going there for a movie. It's probably 1 or 2 kilometers away from my place, and I got late getting ready. Right, or maybe I know this sounds very stereotypical. Maybe my wife got late uh, getting ready. Right. So yeah, this is my objective. Now I open the cab booking app and I enter the destination. And even before that, sometimes I had to complete the payment. I think for Ola, they have changed the payment experience. Previously, it used to be that I can pay on my card even after completing the ride. Now, if I don't pay until I complete the ride on Ola, right, I have to pay in cash or Google Pay, whatever, to the driver. Right, and then the driver will say the payment is done. Basically, I cannot not pay. Right, I have to pay immediately. I cannot. I said I cannot not pay. I meant I cannot not pay later. Right, if that even makes sense. Now in Uber, you can still pay before you book your next ride. Um, so yeah, maybe that step I will do before I attempt to book my current ride. All right. So now I enter the information. Now that search itself is one small part of this entire journey, and Uber uses and even Ola, I think any other popular cab booking app that you find uses Google's Maps API, and as soon as you start typing the street or the name of the location, the theater's name, or the mall's name, or the restaurant's name, anything, right? Or even big popular apartment complex's name. All right, it just shows you the results for it, and sometimes you will be able to uh, find what you are looking for in the first attempt, and sometimes you will not be able to. Right, especially if you are looking for or if you are going to someone's house, right? It may not be very straightforward. First, you may have to search for the street, and of course, you will find a lot of streets. Maybe you will read which locality it is in, because multiple localities may have the same street name, right? And you will triangulate, that is a term that we want to use, and figure out, okay, this is the locality that I am going to, and this is the street name. Maybe this is the location, and your friend probably sent you the location um, on another app, and you try and look at that location, see how the map looks surrounding that particular location. What are the adjacent streets, or any other shops that are nearby, or any other government buildings that are nearby, and then see if you see the same thing in the cab application, right? And then decide, okay, this is the location, and probably you drop a pin in this specific scenario, and you precisely select the location that you want to be dropped at, right? But in other cases, if it is a mall or any other um, location that is you can find typically on a map, you just select that location, and the app automatically puts a pin on that location, puts a location pin on that location, right? And then you start booking. So this is, I think, a good example of how you find information with. Um, Maybe this is not a good example for integration, because all most of the things that you are doing is search, and yeah, I don't know if you call dropping a pin on a map as a link to link browsing. Maybe this is one of the other novel ways that exists today. The more I talk about these new ways of finding information, right, especially this location, I think maybe talking about these new novel ways of finding information itself can be a topic, right? Voice assistants, finding information on using a map, and things like that. It doesn't fall under exactly link to link navigation, right? And it's also kind of goes hand in hand with search, but it's not exactly search also. So yeah, I tend to digress. But this is a good example of iteration in the first, or in the scenario where I am looking for a landmark. Right, that's the word I was looking for. A mall or a theater or a restaurant. It's pretty straightforward. I search for it if there are multiple locations where that particular, let's say it's McDonald's, right? Maybe in multiple places in the city. I just triangulate with the um, locality, right? I am looking for McDonald's in Besanagar, or I am looking for McDonald's in Rayapeta. So I just look at the McDonald's listing and see which localities, and then boom, I select it. In the second scenario, if I talk about going to someone's house, I first maybe search for the um street, or maybe the area, and then I compare the location that's sent by my friend in a different application, and then I try to match the same location in the cab booking product, right? So this is a good example of how iteratively users find information. So yeah, this is good. Let me see for how long we've been yammering. Okay, it's 34 minutes. Not bad. Um, okay, so I think we may be able to find a good place where we can talk about iteration and integration, and maybe find some tangible ways to apply this. All right. I think my throat is dry from screaming for so long. But yeah, I think we are. I am in a good place. I'm saying we are. I use we in sentences in my office meetings so much. I just whenever I try to even address myself as I, it just comes out as we, force of habit. Um, so yeah, I think I am in a good place, and I think I'll be able to find some tangible ways to apply this as well. And maybe, we will talk about some of the other things, how users triangulate and find information when there are multiple things, when there are multiple similar things uh, to what they are trying to find. Right? Just give me a minute. I'll just go get some water. I don't know. I may stop this live stream after I get the water, but yeah, just bear with me for a moment. Okay, I was just looking at my own live streaming, how I looked, and I'm sorry that you guys have had to witness whatever you witnessed a moment ago. So yeah, I think we are good. Let me just keep going through the rest of the just skim through the rest of the sections. Learning about information needs. So here they talk about what research you can do. I'm sorry. Here they talk about what kind of research you can do to identify your users' information needs and information seeking behaviors. Maybe this is something that we can talk about. Um, but yeah, I think this is quite short. I mean, we can also see if there are other ways apart from the ones mentioned in this book. Um, for research. Right? I'm a little skeptical because the content is too short on this one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like I should talk about one more thing today. I don't know why. Maybe because I have 10 more minutes, maybe before my office calls start, and my maid is also yet to come. Right, so design for understanding. Okay, let's see what they are talking about here. Chapter frames away, creating the world. Sometimes that going on, but it's not a frame. Actually. Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay. We only understand things in relationship to something else. The frame around the painting changes how we perceive it. That may be a little difficult. And if I have to give you guys an example again, going back to the same identifying what you are looking for when there are similar items, right? And let's say when you search for McDonald's, there are 5 or 6 listings in the city. How do you know? How do you figure out which McDonald's? You find the locality, and sometimes I've come across this. If there are two McDonald's in the same locality, the locality is huge or popular, and there is a lot of demand. It could happen. You further try to pinpoint it by the street's name in that locality. Right. Um, so yeah, That's what I think they are talking about when they say you understand things only in relationship to something else. And this applies to finding songs. And this is an example that I keep using. You know the title of a song, especially if it is a children's rhyme. There may be 1,000 versions of a rhyme, like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And maybe there are movie songs as well, right? And if you are trying to pinpoint from these thousands of results, you will probably look for the artist or the album cover. Maybe you recollect the album cover, and then you pinpoint it, right? So maybe that's what they are talking about when they say you only understand information in relationship to something else. Okay, a sense of place. Okay, I know they are what they are talking about here. This is, yeah, this may be a separate topic. So what they talk about here is, I'm trying to find the diagram. There is a diagram, nice diagram uh, that they talk about in the book. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's at the end of this chapter. Yes. Okay. So what they talk about, I'll try to explain this from memory. Right. Now, if you think about any website or a product as a physical place, right? Let's talk about a physical place first. Let's say it is. I'm just trying to find something that is familiar to everyone. Okay, let's say you have a booking at a hotel and you are entering the hotel. All right. Now, what are the common places to a hotel? Right. You have the main entrance if it is a big hotel, and if it is a smaller hotel, maybe it's just the entrance to the building, right? The entrance of the building, the door basically of the building. But if it is a bigger hotel, there is a main gate, and then you have the entrance or the door to the building itself, and you have the parking area, and also you will have the valley area, and maybe there is also a security check place. And then inside the building, you will find the reception and maybe the waiting area, the lift section, the steps, the staircases, and ultimately the room itself. And also, maybe the kitchen is not someplace you will enter, but there may be a place for the restaurant, right, where you go and have food. Um, so yeah, this basically forms the anatomy of any hotel. And as soon as you enter or you see a hotel, you all of these different places inside that hotel becomes easy to identify, right? If they are laid out in a common fashion. Right? So you know which is the main gate. As soon as you see it. You don't even think. You know where is the valet area, and maybe you know at the main gate if you don't know how to go to the valet area or the entrance. If it is a really huge resort or a hotel, you ask someone, right, and then they tell you, okay, you have to keep going straight, or you have to take the second right, second left, and so on, and you go there. And as soon as you see a bunch of people at the entrance, you recognize that's probably the entrance of the valley area. And then when you enter, you see a huge desk, which is an indication of that maybe is the reception, right? You probably see a few people or maybe someone behind that desk, and you don't even consciously think and process the information. You subconsciously take a decision that that is a reception area, and you directly approach it. Right now, let's take the structure of a website, right, to keep things simple. Now, as soon as you land on a website, the first thing you probably notice is the navigation or the header banner. So these are all. Let's try to first think about it in sections, right? So you have the navigation bar for any website. You have the header, and you have the logo. Maybe if there is any sign in a subscription involved, that is there as a user icon, or your name is displayed on the top right. Um, Yeah, and as you scroll down, you find the about section maybe, or maybe the footer section, and so on. Right. So you start. Okay, I lost my thought process. We were talking about which topic? Okay. Yeah, the architecture of places. Right. So yeah, and these navigation, header, footer, um, and then the banner, if there is a banner about a section, they're all very common things you want to find in any product or a website, right? And because users are used to these common elements across the web, if you don't place certain items in certain places, now if we go back to our hotel analogy and say we put the reception at the top floor, right? It's going to be extremely confusing for everyone to identify or find where is the reception, and it also kind of um, I don't know, makes the experience bad if it is not, very well designed. And maybe there are some security concerns of allowing anyone until the reception, just the top floor, as well. Right? It basically becomes confusing if you put a reception desk in the top floor, right? And I have seen resorts where the reception is maybe in one place in the room that you are trying to find is probably a kilometer away. Right? If it is, let's say something like a golf resort or a resort that is spread over 600, 700 acres. And usually there is transportation. And if there is no transportation, then again you have to walk from the reception till your room for 1 kilometer. Maybe there are adults. And the experience is bad. So what I'm trying to say is there are common things and there are common places for those things. Right? And if you don't use the common convention and not just common places for those things. For example, when you click on the logo on the top left, the common behavior is it takes you to the home page. But for some reason, if it takes you to some other place, then that might lead to frustration. Let's say you tag it to your address page, for example, right? And the users, okay, I think my maid is here. Just give me a minute. I guess we'll just stop here and continue this conversation tomorrow. I'm sorry to do this abruptly, but yeah, I think we covered a good amount of conversation, a good amount of content conversation today, and we will meet tomorrow. See you guys until tomorrow.